Today we continue Ariyavasa Sutta. First we have to recite Ariyavasa Sutta Pali. Can you follow me? Dasa yime bhikkhave Ariyavasa. Yeriya Awasain Suwa Awasandiwa Awasai Sandiwa Gadame Dasa Ida Bhikkhave Bhikkhu Pinjinga Vebhina Hodi Chalinga Samanagado Ekareko Chadura Basino Panona Vijayga Sijo Samawaya Satisano Anawila Singapore Pasada Gaya Singharo Suimoda Jada Suimoda Binyo. We recite together. Dasa yime bhikkhave Ariyavasa Yeriya Awasai Suwa Awasandiwa Awasai Sandiwa Kadame Dasa Ida Bhikkhave Bhikkhu Pinjinga Vebhina Hodi Chalinga Samanagado Ekareko Chadura Basino Panona Vijayga Sijo Samawaya Satisano Anawila Singapore Pasada Gaya Singharo Suimoda Jada Suimoda Binyo. Mercy Sierra aphorism. Can you follow me? To abandon the 5 factors, to be fulfilled with the 6 factors, and 1 protection, to depend on the false supports, and to dispel personal truths, to be free from searching, to have pure thoughts, to calm the in and out breath, to have a well-liberated mind, and well-liberated wisdom. The fully enlightened Buddha expounded the 10 features of Ariyavasa. So to build up the Ariyavasa, the abode of noble ones, and to dwell in this Ariyavasa, we need 4 supports. So we need to depend on 4 supports. 1, things to use, 1, things to endure, 1, things to avoid, and 1, things to dispel. That is Chatura Pasino number 4. And after depending on 4 supports, what we have to do, we have to practice. We have to practice continuously Satipatthana. Ekareko, that is the only way to be free from suffering. With the kinds of faith You practice and you are protected because you are always mindful. And when you develop mindfulness by observing every phenomena occurring at the six senses, what you encounter, the first thing you would encounter is 5 hindrances. So Buddha said, Pinchinga will be no. 5 things have to be abandoned. The first one, desire. Meditators have not yet developed continuous mindfulness and strong concentration in the beginning. So you cannot gain control over your mind. So it would wander as freely as always to every sense objects it loves. So such an unruly mental states are the 5 kinds of mental hindrances. They are so called because they hinder our concentration, they block the noble path to nirvana, they block to build up the Ariyavasa. So in the outline of the discourse, Buddha mentioned the 5 mental hindrances as 5 factors to abandon Pinchinga Vibhino. Meditators, Bhikkhu meditator must have abandoned 5 factors. Then Buddha described these factors. How a Bhikkhu practitioner has abandoned 5 factors. A practitioner has abandoned sensual desire, ill will, sloth and double, restlessness and remorse, and skeptical doubt. It is in this way that a Bhikkhu practitioner has abandoned 5 factors. To abandon the 5 factors, you need to understand the defect of the sensual object, sensual desire. In the discourse, Buddha compares sense objects to a piece of meat carried off by a kite that becomes a target of fierce attack by other birds. Finally, the bird can no longer tolerate the attacks of other birds, and he has to drop the meat down. Then another kite takes it away. Sure, the second kite also attacked by other birds in the same way as the first one. The second bird also has to drop the meat in the end because of too much attack by others. In this way, kites attack any birds that possess the meat. So the birds possess the meat is actually unlucky. He was attacked by other birds. A bird can escape the fierce attack only when it lets go of the meat. In the same way, sensual object allures all living beings, and so the owner is the target of attack. So if he or she keep that object, other people may make attempts to rob in, to loot that object. And in other sutta, Buddha compared sensual desire like dreams. While having a good dreams, we think it is real, and in the dream happily enjoy. However, upon waking up, there's nothing real, nothing substantial about what we had experienced in the dream. In the same way, while the person is enjoying the sensual pleasures, objects appear to be real, objects appear to be substantial, but later there exists nothing. So it is obvious that more suffering is experienced in the search for these objects than the actual enjoyment of them. So he has to work hard for good scenery, good sound, good taste, good food, good smell, and good touch. While enjoying, while eating the delicious taste on the tongue, lasts for a short moment, and as soon as he swallows it, it exists no more. So in the same way, the sensual pleasures of sight, sound, odors, and touch are enjoyable at the moment of seeing, hearing, smelling, and touching. Afterwards, there is nothing left of them. So for this reason, it is advisable to abandon these sensual pleasures. Yogi have to reflect. They are more suffering than the momentary enjoyment of these sensual pleasures is likened to a dream. And Buddha explained, Yachitakupama Kama, sensual pleasures are likened to a borrowed things. Things such as clothing, jewelry, borrowed to be used for certain occasion have to be returned to the owner later. So borrowed thing is not for permanent use, but for a short time. So in the same way, sensual pleasures are to be enjoyable only for a short while, not for long. He can own this property today, but it is not sure whether they will be there the next day. The properties must be ruined or taken away by fire, floods, or bad people. And as for the spouses too, they can be separated, they can be divorced anytime. Finally, when he or she dies, all these sensual pleasures have to be left behind. That is why the Buddha said sensual pleasures are like the borrowed things. It is a very appropriate example. Another example, Agikandupama Kama. Buddha compared the sensual pleasures with the pile of fire. When the person approached the pile of fire with high flames, he will suffer intense heat. If he embraced the high flames, he could be burnt to death. So wise people avoid the pile of fire with high flames. If he or she has to use the fire for a certain purpose, he or she will stay at a distance or protect himself or herself with a shield so as not to be burnt. However, flying termites fly into the flame and die, but we don't know what they think of the fire flames. So to remind the people not to dash into the sensual pleasures like the flying termites, wise teachers say, rushing and dashing into the fire, flying termites encounter a fatal death. So regarding this, sensual desire or passions are burning to all beings with a fury producing red flames. So in the Advaita Sutta, Buddha mentioned 11 fires are burning to all beings. Advaita Loka Sanivasa Ragagina Dosagina Mohagina Jatiya Jaraya Maranina Sokehi Pridevihi Dokehi Domanasehi Upayasehi. To all beings, 11 fires are burning them. The first one, Ragagi, the fires of passion. Number 2, Dosagi, the fiery anger. Number 3, Mohagi, delusion or mistaken views. And then Jati, the fires of fresh rebirth. Jara, the fires of aging. Marana, the fires of death. Soka, the fire of worry and anxiety. Parideva, the fire of grief, wailing, and lamentation. Toka, the miserable fire of physical distress. Tomanasa, the fire of mental distress and unhappiness. Upayasa, the fires of extreme despair. 11 fires are burning strongly, producing blazing flames. So fires are burning in beings Who saw? Fully enlightened Buddha and Arahant saw living beings enveloped in such bliss. So great compassion had arisen in the Buddha that beings enveloped in such flames. So 11 fire are burning in the beings, to the beings. Need to remember fires. Can you follow me? 11 fire. Raga, dosa, moha, jati, jara, marana, soka, parideva, dukkha, domanassa, upayasa. So 11 fires are burning to all beings with the flames, fury producing red flames. Number 1, raga is the lust of passion, dosa, anger, hatred, moha, erroneous conception or delusion or ignorance, jati, birth, jara, decay, aging, marana, death, soka, sorrow, parideva, lamentation, dukkha, pain, domanassa, grief and despair. Among these fires, the fire of raga, sensual desire, are those sensual desire are pleasurable attachment. What is called tanha or lobha are also raga, passionate desire. How they are burning? Attachment to the eye sensitivity. Pleasurable attachment to the eye sensitivity, visible object, and seeing consciousness are said to be the fires of raga attachment, which are raging. So the fires are burning in 5 places: eye sensitivity, visible object, seeing consciousness, eye contact, and feeling, born of uh, born of eye contact. 5 places are burning. 5 things are burning. From the stage of seeing, he becomes attached to his own eye sensitivity. Lovingly, my eyes are clear, and also visible object, which is agreeable, which is pleasurable, particularly pleasurable attachment to visible object. It is not only the sight rupa, the beauty that is seen and appreciated, but also the whole entire body of a woman, the whole entire body of a man are to be attached. So the sensation arises from sight, is pleasurable, which in turn invokes desirable attachment. The feeling which occurs is nothing but the burning of raga. attachment. If the object that is desired is not yet available, he have to crave for and he have to yearn for. So he will think of trying to get that object, maybe by hook or by crook. Sometimes the burning fire may occur to the extent of having a reaction in losing his own appetite. He cannot eat, he cannot sleep because of the fire of attachment to that properties. He may also be planning to keep intact this object which had been acquired. So the arising of this pleasurable desire is bani raga, strong passion or sensual desire. But ordinary people think of this bani sensual desire as being pretty good. So they are always eagerly making efforts to enjoy such sensual pleasures with attachment. Whether in the matter of family affairs or business affairs or affairs relating to human relation, they are constantly worried. They may even probably think it enjoyable to be worrying as such. So in the same way, when hearing takes place, the ear sensitivity, the sound wave, and the hearing consciousness are to be pleasurable. So when hearing, which place are burning, eardrums, sound wave, hearing consciousness, ear contact, and feeling. So these places are burning with sensual desire. So in matter relating to smelling, odor, the nose space, and the smelling consciousness, etc., are to be pleasurable. When eating, tongue base, the taste and tasting consciousness are pleasurable, and also when touching and imagining, similar occurrence which are happening. So the flames of sensual desire are raging furiously depending upon those that have arisen from the six sendos. It is just like inflammable materials such as firewood, gas of petrol that easily catch fire. The more the material is highly flammable, the more the fire becomes furious. In the same way, the more the sense objects are highly pleasurable, the more the fires of sensual desire becomes furious. And second fire is dosagi, anger. Disliking the fire of anger are burning into all beings. It is more obvious when the mind becomes miserable, when Bani sensation as he gets angry. However, the angry man may feel very pleased with his anger that has arisen in him. So as mohagi, delusion, ignorance, it is difficult to understand. Everything which is very conspicuous, everything appear only just nama and rupa by Nameda. They are changing continuously, they are disappearing continuously, they are not pleasurable, but the person is ignorant. A view arises that everything which conspicuously occurs is permanent, everlasting, pleasurable, that every such thing is self. The kinds of view is mohagi, ignorance. So what is wrongly conceived is ignorance. Erroneous understanding or misconception which cover the true nature of the knowledge of impermanence, unsatisfactory, and non-self that arise from the six sendos is to be regarded as moha in flames. So the fire of ignorance are burning is difficult to understand by ordinary person. Now when yogi practice, yogi understand the true characteristics of impermanence, suffering and non-self. Yogi can realize the burning moha, burning ignorance. So the moha includes not knowing what is true, being under delusion, and that ignorant person does things which ought not to be done. That ignorant person plans which ought not to be planned. That ignorant person speaks what ought not to be spoken. So for such improper conduct, disadvantages are bound to be met to that ignorant person. So there are 11 fire and 3 fire are called kilesa fire, akusala fire, raga, sensual desire, dosa, anger, moha, ignorance. These 3 fires are called fire of akusala kilesa, kilesa fire. And other 8 fires are called samsaric misery, fire of samsaric misery. The first one is jati, rebirth. The fire of jati. If the person have done akusala, in the past he have to be reborn in the 4 woeful states. Misery in hell are to be suffered because his rebirth in hell. In the same way, miserable condition in the animal life and of hungry ghosts are met because of rebirth in the animal kingdom. Those who are born in the poor parents will probably be stricken with poverty throughout their life because of rebirth in the poor parents. So the person who becomes devas and brahmas are also suffering misery. So it has so happened because of the resultant effects of their mental defilements and karma. So there is jati, rebirth, the fire of rebirth. All misery which are faced and suffered throughout their lifetime for having first come into being in every existence are the burns caused by the fire of rebirth that has initially conceived. And in every existence, getting gradually advanced in age, which is obvious signs of gray hairs, short-sightedness, blurry vision, becoming hard of hearing, deaf. These are due to the burning heat of aging. So jara, the fire of aging. Eventually, the inevitable death will take place. Is the burning heat of the fire of marana, death. So in every kind of existence, this fire of jara and marana, aging and death, which are burning, are quite conspicuous. And then other fires are soka, anxiety, grief, prideva, wailing, bereavement, and lamentation due to the loss and death of relatives, loss and destructions of properties, loss and destructions of business enterprises, etc., are the burning fires of grief and lamentation. And also in every existence, generally various kinds of physical suffering are to be faced. There are also heartbreaking moments with extreme anxiety. These happenings are the fires of domanassa, dejection, and upayasa, despair, which he or she has to undergo unavoidably. So for having observed that the beings are undergoing severe misery and suffering in the raging fires, altogether 11 fires, Buddha saw these burning fire in the beings. Abode had great compassion to these beings. So all living beings are subjected to the 11 fires of fires, such as sensual desire, anger, etc. Buddha had great compassion towards those beings. He realized that there was no one except him to come to extinguish the fire in the beings. So these beings are really pitiable, since not only one fire but 11 fires are burning them up. The misery they have to undergo, it is awfully terrible. There is no one who could give instruction to these poor, pitiable beings to escape from the burning flames, except the compassionate, fully enlightened Buddha. So knowing fully well the fate of all beings, compassion has arisen in the heart of the Buddha, and this feeling of deep compassion made him to deliver his preaching, revealing the way to happiness and guiding them to follow the practice of the Eightfold Path, or Sila Samadhi Pinya, or Satipatthana practice. So to extinguish the 11 fire, here sensual desire, the best and easiest practice is Satipatthana. After taking the precepts, you try to extinguish the sensual desire, kammichanda. Meditator try to observe every phenomena occurring at the six senses. The mindfulness and concentration getting stronger and stronger day by day. The mind does not wander. When the practice getting better, a yogi begin to see the Namarupa clearly. They can distinguish the mind and matter clearly. They can see the true characteristic functions and manifestation of the phenomena. Then yogi are able to abandon wrong view that there is an self. A yogi see the causal relationship of mind and matter. There is sadness because the object's undesirable. There is happiness because the object is desirable. A yogi start to contemplate on these namarupa. Yogi comprehend these namarupa as impermanent, suffering, and non-self. And when yogis start to see the true nature of the phenomena arising and disappearing of these phenomena clearly, and he or she experience light, joy, tranquility, faith in the practice, etc. A yogi again see the arising and disappearing of individual phenomena. Practice more and more, and at this stage, yogi seeing is clearer, his or her understanding is stronger. Now yogi may have noticed first. He see the arising and disappearing of mind and matter. And there are two stages of knowledge of arising and falling, weak stage and strong stage. The first stage is the weak stage. At this stage, yogi understanding is not so strong. So the impediments come, and then yogi transcend these impediments like joy, tranquility, etc. And his or her understanding becomes stronger. So when his or her understanding becomes stronger, he or she sees more clearly the arising and disappearing of the phenomena. After that, knowledge, another kinds of knowledge arises. By that knowledge, yogi see the falling only, yogi see the disappearing only. Yogi does not try to see the arising. So his seeing or understanding is of falling or disappearing only. So at this stage of knowledge, whatever objects yogi observe, yogi see as disappearing. When he sees just the disappearing of whatever objects, he keeps in mind on that objects disappear. So when he sees the disappearance of objects, he comes to the knowledge that the objects are really fearful. These objects are dangerous because they do not last. They disappear as he or she observes them. So these objects are not dependable, not reliable. Yogi see that danger. So after that, yogi comes to the stage where he or she finds fault with mind and matter. When he sees that mind and matter are fearful, then he finds some fault with them. After seeing the fault with them, he becomes disenchanted. That means he turns away from mind and matter. He is dispassionate with mind and matter, or he becomes wearied with mind and matter. Now he is just seeing the disappearing. So he knows that they are fearful, they are dangerous, and he finds fault with them. So now yogi becomes weary with them. When yogi becomes weary with them, he wants to get free from them. He wants to get free from that mind or matter, or he wants to get free from these sensual object. Because whatever mind and matter he observe, he see them disappearing. So he wants to get free from mind and matter. So that means he wants to get free from suffering. And he practices more and more. And finally, he can abandon these essential object. So three extinguisher, Buddha mentioned, Sila Samadhi Pinya or Satipatthana, method to extinguish the flames of Kamicchanda. Another example, Buddha compared the sensual desire and its human victim to the dead and the dacta. So Buddha instructed his disciple to get rid of the sensual desire quickly, just like the doctor who has to work hard to repay his debt in time. In this regard, Mahasi Sayadaw have composed a verse to help yogi remember these facts. Sensual desire means that take a quick action to remove sensual desire. In the olden days, the debtor has to be very respectful to his creditor. If the debtor failed to settle the debt in time, he had to apologize his creditor in a very humble manner. Even the creditor scolded him. The debtor never dared to say any word. The debtor never do anything disagreeable to his creditor. This is what happened in olden days as well as during the Buddha's time. So we have no idea whether it is stayed the same in these days when a lot of social reforms has been conducted. So a debtor always has to respect his creditor, even though he repays his debt in time, because he or she may need to get some more loans later. Only when a man repays all his debts and needs no more loans, he can be no longer required to respect his creditor. In this sense, desire for an object is compared to the debt because he or she have to respect the desirable object and take great care of it. The more desirous he is of an object, the more respect he must pay to it, and the greater care he have to take of it. So for example, suppose He cherished a beautiful cup and he have to use it very carefully so that he won't break the cup. Even greater care needs to be taken of it if it is a precious things like gold, silver, jewelry and other ornaments that he really cherished. He have to keep them in a safe and iron-clad boxes under lock and key. When he wear ornaments on ceremonial occasion, for example, he is likely to have trouble looking for a secure place. So the more desirous he is of an object, the more respectful he must be to it, and the greater care he have to take of it. So there is a problem related to desire for inanimate things. Such problem can be even worse when it becomes to a living being, such as spouses and child and so on. For example, wife and husband have to speak very carefully and respectfully. Wife and husband have to behave very carefully so that he would not hurt the other person feeling. The more person love his or his spouse, the more respectfully he have to treat her, not to get hurt her feeling. So he have to respect any objects he love, animate or inanimate, in the same way as a debtor respect his creditor. When he is not desirous of anything, or when he is not desirous of any individual, he will become completely carefree, exactly like the person who is free from debt. So we continue tomorrow. Next time, we have to stop our discourse for today to abandon the 5 factors, that mean 5 mental hindrances. The first one is sensual desire. By practicing vipassana meditation and by developing sila samadhi pinya training, you can abandon. Yogi can abandon these 5 mental hindrances. So by practicing vipassana meditation, by observing every phenomena occurring at the 6 senses, by noting rising, falling, sitting, touching, seeing, hearing, continuously and meticulously, may you dwell in the abode of noble ones gracefully. May you be liberated from all suffering. May you realize the real peace in the very near future. So, we have to recite the Masatipatthana Odesa Pali. Ekaya no ayam bhikkhave mega sadanam visodiya sogabari devanam samadegamaya doga domanasana atingamaya nyayasa Adigamaya Nivanasa Sajigiriyaya Yadidam Chadaram Sadivadana Kadame Chadaram Ida Bhikkhave Bhikkhu Kaye Kayanubasi Viharati Adabi Sambhajanam Satima Vinaya Loke Avijja Domanasam Vedanasu Vedananubasi Viharati Adabi Sambhajanam Satima Vinaya Okay. Avijja Domanasam Chaita Chaitanubasi Viharati Adabi Sambhajanam Satima Vinaya Loke Avijja Domanasam Dhammesu Dhammanubasi Viharati Adabi Sambhajanam Saddhima Vinaya Loke Avijja Domanasam. English translation. This is the only way, bhikkhus, for the purifications of beings, for the overcoming of sorrow and lamentation, for the disappearance of pain and grief, noble path, for the realizations of nirvana, namely the four foundations of mindfulness. What are the four? Here in the teaching bhikkhus, bhikkhu dwells contemplating the body in the body, ardent, clearly comprehending and mindful, removing desire and discontent in the world. Bhikkhu dwells contemplating the feeling, ardent, clearly comprehending and mindful, removing desire and discontent in the world. Dwells contemplating the consciousness, ardent, clearly comprehending and mindful, removing desire and discontent in the world. Dwells contemplating the Dharma in the Dharmas, ardent, clearly comprehending and mindful, removing desire and discontent in the world. Honoring and sharing merits. Imayam Dhammanu Dhammapatipatiyam Bodham Bujemi Maya Dhammani Dhammapati Patiya Dhammam Bujemi Maya Dhammani Dhammapati Patiya Sangham Bujemi Maya Dhammani Dhammapati Patiya Atta Bidara Bujemi Imaya Nidhamapati Patiya Acariye Ujemi Adaimaya Patibadaya Yaramaranama Parimojayasami Dhamme Punya Asawakaya Waham Hodu Dhamme Silam Vegavalanyana Vajaya Hodu Imano Punya Vagam Savasadanam Demam Sabe Sada Sigida Hondu Sadhu Sadhu